Good morning. This is a morning video, and there's a whole day ahead. Almost 24 hours, less than 20 by now. Time is plenty, really. And the only reason people say time just flies by or time goes so fast is because if you haven't had a psychedelic experience, and I don't necessarily mean with drugs and stuff, but just really got lost in time, in your perception of time, through meditation, through any kinds of means, where you spent maybe a day or a week or maybe a month, where time is measured by the pulse of the things outside you, maybe of the routines of the animals, of the sun going up and down, of the water, of some sound, something natural, because every one of us has the seconds, imprinted in our minds, the measurement of time. We got the seconds beating, and we are consciously aware of that. And if we get outside of that, for example, if people go on holiday or something that just takes them out of their mind, and not even holidays are enough for people because they just feel burned out, but let's say the psychedelic experience, as I said, it doesn't have to involve LSD or anything like that. That makes you experience time for what it is. It's very flexible. Time is something that is emitted, and time spelled backwards is emit. So it is emitted. Everything in the universe is like a when you have a fire and something cracks and it just moves in one direction and dissolves. So it's all something that's being emitted. And we have the seconds and the minutes imprinted in our minds, but everything in the universe is so off the beat. For example, we always have this image of the sun being here and the planet sort of going around in an organized way, but actually the sun and our whole solar system, our whole galaxy is moving through space. Check that out. There are good, beautiful scientific explanations of that. And they move while they're moving through space. Or what is space? Where does space end and begin? If our universe is finite and it moves through something, that there has to be something. Just as you are moving through time, through your day, through your life. And sometimes people say that if there is no God or we are not spiritual, everything is meaningless. And I don't think so. I think an atheist is a theist. They are both the same. They have belief systems. That's the mechanism, the belief system. But why do we always crave a meaning? Why do we always crave more time? 70 years, 80 years, 60 years, 90 years. That's so much time. And if we dedicate ourselves to time, to our life, just as the universe is dedicated to this movement, there's a beauty to it, because a week can make you realize and feel and experience so much more than a year, for example. And time is also not something that limits us, it's a possibility. You see, because we have this finite idea of time and seconds, and this sort of idea that I begin with something and I end with something. That's crazy, because what liberated me from time is that I see no beginning, no end. I see no beginning of a work I do, of a project. There's just a plowing through time, just like the universe goes through space. There is no end station. There are moments of victory, there are moments of bliss, of, you know, fantastic success, and, you know, the opposite. But you still move on, you know, that's gone in an instant. And once again, it all just becomes like a dream. And people haven't really contemplated on the thin mechanism that separates us from reality and our inner dreamy state. Maybe they are mixed together, you know, solipsis. But a memory is just as, you know, just as a dream. There's just this mechanism that tells us what's a dream and what's not a dream. And there's also studies that's shown that we can change our memories and we can implant memories. So it's all fluid, basically. And we are in charge if we want to be in charge. And there's no reason to spice up something beyond being totally in it. Like really embracing the new day that's coming. Today's Tuesday. And there's so much to do, so much to experience. And I'm not going to go into this monetary system we are part of. You know, if you want to, you can break free from that, or just reap the benefits, give your fair share of support, and enjoy life. But it's all about being committed, because as you know, you pack the years on top of each other, or throw them away in a positive way. There's this constant talk about time, how fast time went and all that. I just don't accept it. I keep my mouth shut when I'm in presence of people that I feel like there's no need to go into a deeper discussion. But I want to tell you this. Time, in a sense, is a social construct. You know, this sort of ticking second, the week, the weekdays, the months, the years. But time as a movement, as an unstoppable tide, as the universal movement of birth and decay, you know? You have the only time to care of is your own physical decay, the decaying of your close by family members, friends, the nature around you. And what a more beautiful time to be reborn again than springtime. It's fantastic. It's just I think it's very important. I think it should be taught in schools how to experience time, because imagine that people really get stuck in that sort of social construct of time with the seconds and the minutes for 60 years, for a whole lifetime, and then they go out of their mind. We should get out of our minds more often to come back to it, as Alan Watts said. And that's a beautiful experience, to really have your time measured by the moments that the birds come out and sing, by your heartbeat when you're really in deep meditation, or just some body sound or some scratching in the house or whatever. And that is not some experience in itself just for the kicks of it. It teaches you about life. It teaches you about the relation to time when you get back to work, when you get back to your daily routines, when you go to the grocery store and your child is there complaining or anything. I remember when I sat in a train or lied in a train in India for 13 hours, just like this with my bag, and just shut off. I remember when I was totally ill and alone, far away in a country for 3 days, couldn't even drink water, and all the stories, people who have been through much worse stuff than I have, how they experience time and how that changed them. And we don't need to experience anything forced or traumatic to appreciate time. This can be educated, this can be taught. And all we need is a place and time, like this, like in this morning. You could have a school class going out for a trip. But maybe not a school class, maybe adults need it more. Maybe they need to be reminded. Kids are already in their beautiful time frame, I guess. So yeah, adults should go out and just experience. That's why you have this sort of new age stuff, and people get together in groups and just be quiet and go out, and it looks silly from the outside, I guess. I like to do that on my own, and with my family. And I'm glad my wife is also a very time-flowing being. And my kid is definitely a time-flowing being. So, yeah, time-flowing beings, that's what we are. And, when you realize that, everything becomes so natural, just like a movement. And why is this something worth mentioning? It's because I live among people who are not aware of this, who feel pressured by time, who feel there's a beginning and end in every hour, in every day, who say that time went so fast and all that. I can say like the first time with our daughter was magical, every moment, and my life has been so long, there's so much stuff in it, and if some wisdom was there earlier, I could have managed more and had more beauty. That's no regret, that's just the beauty of it. And when you think about how long life is, even if I was 60 years now, I could still have 20 years left, and that's a long time. Because when you were 20, you actually had maybe 12 years, 13, 14 years of somehow a conscious life, and you really thought you were wise or something. But when you're 60, you are probably good at something, and then you have maybe 20 years left to do something really extraordinary. So it's all about keeping your body in a good shape. Not force anything, have the right motivation of time-flowing being, not a fear of losing time, not a fear of having a decaying body, but just make the best use out of it. And it's so amazing, really, it's so amazing. Time-flowing beings. Yeah, enjoy your day, take care, and all the best. Ciao.